A huge welcome to the Tiny Hunter Family Business Insider event. I'm so sorry that I can't be with you in person tonight, but I did want to take the time to share with you a little bit about the history, about how we became a family business and how we've evolved over the years. So as far as family businesses go, I have to say it's happened kind of accidentally for us, or a nicer term might be organically. So I was very influenced by my father growing up, and he was quite entrepreneurial. So he started out as a journalist in motoring, and then the personal computer came out and it was a big thing, and he thought people are going to need to know how to use these machines. So with absolutely no technical knowledge, he launched a magazine called Your Computer. And he went on to become a self-taught expert and travelled the world teaching anti-hacking and programming of all kinds to governments and enterprise-level organisations. Very clever man. And then my brother followed in his footsteps. He went off and he studied computer science and into the coding, into the programming. And then there was me. And I was kind of the black sheep of the family, and I had my eyes firmly set on design. So I went along to design college wanting to be all creative and thinking I was so different to them. And then I started my career, and very quickly everything went from print design into digital design. And before I knew it, I was actually coding HTML. So I realised our paths were not that different at all. And what I learned from my dad is that I didn't need to have a real job, and that hard work is just part and parcel of working for yourself. So I took those lessons and launched my first agency, Filter Group, in 2002. And I convinced my brother to come on board as the technical lead, which was great because at that point in time, quite a long time ago, digital was not a thing. Nobody was doing digital. So we were winning clients because their current agencies couldn't do the work that they needed. And the business grew and grew. We had some great clients like Sydney Airport and New South Wales Health and many others, many of whom are still with us today. So then another pivotal moment was when I put out a Seek ad looking for an account manager. And out of all the responses, I got only one that I connected with and thought I need to interview this person. And that's when I met the lovely Jo Gossage, who came on board and had such a positive impact on the business and for me personally. She became my right-hand woman and meant that I could do things like take holidays without it being intensely stressful and then be able to think about having a family. And then a little office romance started brewing. And Jo and Byron fell in love. And then fast forward, they get married. Suddenly, we've got an in-law in the business as well. So that's the family side of Tiny Hunter. And I really like to think that that family part goes through the whole business. Family member or not, we've got a really amazing, tight-knit culture with lots of long-standing employees, which is something that I love. So that's the family part. But now I just want to touch on the business part. So in terms of the agency, things were going really well. We were doing great work. But at some point, I realised that we could have a greater impact if we could be involved earlier in the conversation, if we could be helping our clients with their strategy and their positioning in the market. So during this time, I was meeting with Emma Scott, who's our strategy director now, for breakfast. She had her own agency called the Elk Group, and we used to meet up and just share the trials and tribulations that we all know as a sole business owner. It can be very hard, very stressful, and quite lonely as well. So after one of these breakfasts, I realised that we were actually a perfect match and that we would solve each other's problems. So Emma had spent many years in brand and brand strategy and had amazing creative vision, and we were quite robust as a business with client service, our digital capabilities and design. So together, we were a really well-rounded full-service agency. So during 2014, we merged our agencies together and we relaunched as Tiny Hunter with myself and Emma and Jo as the owners. A perfect blend of strategy, high-end creative and digital capability. But you'll hear more about that from Emma and Jo tonight. So again, I just wanted to say a huge thank you for coming along and sharing your time with us this evening.